welcome everybody to the class. It's a very important class. I created this course probably 30 years ago. I was living in San Diego, and maybe even more than 30 years ago, whenever the Gulf War broke out, and many of my clients were military, and it was a very stressful time for everybody. And I just happened to notice that, nobody's laughing anymore. Like, I need to do something, because I'm a health coach and I want to keep people well. I want to keep them healthy. And I want to keep myself healthy, because everybody was afraid. And everybody was, and every day there's something. So it was not just then during the Gulf War.
No.
So I wrote the course. I taught it I was living in California. And I taught it at several universities. And I continued to tweak the course. And then I became certified about five years ago as a certified laughter yoga instructor. And I noticed that this actually became a thing.
It is.
With medical doctors telling people that they really need to do this as part of their prescription. And I was thrilled because I had already started doing it. Not the same way that laughter yoga is taught, but we'll do a couple of those exercises as well. But I researched the laughter, like, okay, so what are the benefits of laughter? Why, besides laughing, what is it besides feeling good? So we're going to go over all that. So we're going to give you out a handout as soon as somebody comes over, gets them.
Is it somewhere within reach?
Okay. So let's look at some statistics. This is really pretty wild. Children laugh once a day. No, once every 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Children are laughing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I spent Rosh Hashanah with a family of 7 children. Do we have the handout? I spent Rosh Hashanah, my holiday, with a family of 7 children.
Mm-hmm.
The kids were laughing throughout everything. I mean, everything is a joke.
Yes.
They were from 1 year old to 9 years old. And it was just wonderful to see. So they laughed 300 to 400 times a day. That's outrageous. If we ever did that, people would think that, there's something wrong with us. Right? I mean, everything is a joke to the kids. Everything makes them laugh. We've gone through many changes in our lives, and we have become very serious. We've become worried. We've become scared. Those little kids, their negative feelings are pretty minimal. But, we've been through a lot. You don't get to be our age and not having experienced a lot of suffering, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so adults may laugh 4 times a day on a good day. I know there are days that I'm working at the computer or I'm talking to people about what's going on politically or in the world, and it's like I realized at the end of the day I didn't laugh at all. In fact, I probably cried a couple of times. So I'm aware of this because I teach this, and I'm aware of the effect that sadness, grief, fear, and worry have on my well-being. So I teach people to be proactive and not just be with what doesn't work. So if I'm feeling like, wow, I didn't laugh at all today, or I didn't laugh for 2 days, I will look for one of my favorite programs, whatever that is. There's a really great show on YouTube. It's called Just for Laughs, and I think it's Canadian or English, or even from another country that's that doesn't speak English. But what's so great about it is that it doesn't even matter, because
Right.
half the times I shut off the sound
The language.
because it's all like little, try to see what they call it. They're like spoofs, they're like candid camera things. I mean, it doesn't matter what language it is, people still in every country laugh for different
Translate.
reasons.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's called Just for Laughs. So I'll turn that on, or I'll look on YouTube for babies and puppies. And when I see babies and puppies together, it's like the first 2 seconds I'm hysterical laughing.
Yes.
So I try to go to sleep watching one of those things, so that I have a smile on my face, that whatever was happening the rest of the day before I went to bed, I need to erase it. I need to erase it so I can sleep well, because whatever you don't complete during the day, you'll be thinking about it and dreaming about it. So we need to put in some good positive input. So an adult may laugh 4 times a day on a good day. That's not so great. Women laugh 126% more than men. Whoa. That's amazing. That's amazing. But I know it's, men are very serious. They're trained since childhood to be serious, do the job, get the job done. It's women that really maintain the health of the relationship. It's not the men. Men do what they're told. If you've got a good woman in a family that cares about the children and the family, and the guy's going to be pretty good. If a woman kind of slacks off and gives him the responsibility, it's not going to work. It really is not going to work. I mean, I've seen everything, because part of my health coaching is working with families. Anything that causes stress is causing ill health. So women laugh 126% more than men. People who rarely laugh have a 21% higher risk of heart disease than those who laugh daily. So if nothing else, you're preventing heart disease. Now my family, my mother and father, my sister all have heart disease. My mother and father died from heart disease. My sister is on high blood pressure medicine. She's taking medicine for a carotid artery blockage. And I swore that I was never going to get any of that. It's like, okay, that's great. Nobody wants that. But I said, okay, what can I do to prevent this? That's what you have to ask yourself. You can't just say, okay, I'm not going to get this, or I'm going to stay healthy, or I don't want to take my medicine. You need to have something to replace it, something that's going to help you. A hearty laugh increases your circulation and benefits your heart up to 24 hours after laughing. That's pretty amazing. If you watch something at night before you go to sleep for 24 hours, your mood is elevated and endorphins have been released. Okay, so what are some of the health benefits of laughter? It strengthens your cardiovascular system. It burns calories. You could actually lose weight by laughing a lot. It detoxifies your body because you're exhaling. Every time you're laughing, you're exhaling carbon dioxide. And sometimes if you laugh hard enough, when I'm with my kids and my grandkids, I'm giggling and laughing all the time. I'm actually sweating from laughing so much. And the tears are running down my eyes. I'm laughing so much.
Exactly.
So that's another way you're detoxifying. You're releasing endorphins, which are the happy hormones from your brain, and that are natural painkillers. What's also happening is that you're lowering your release of cortisol, which is the stress hormone. When we're stressed, we release a lot of our cortisol from the adrenal glands increase, and it's not healthy for any of the glands or organs. So when you're laughing, it's reducing the cortisol. So this is not just, I'm laughing because I feel good. I'm laughing because I need to stay healthy. So that's why I want you to know this. Some doctors are calling laughing internal jogging, because when you're laughing, it's actually massaging every organ in your body. Your stomach is compressing, your diaphragm is moving, everything. Your blood pressure normalizes, your circulatory system increases the flow. You know, because I've taught this class and I've done laughter yoga in hospitals with people that were either in wheelchairs, had surgery recently, not recently, but have had surgery or waiting for surgery, not had surgery, because I wouldn't teach the class with somebody that has had recent surgery. So people waiting for surgery, people that are afraid of things. So it's really helped them, their attitude when they went in for the surgery. It lowers your pulse rate. So if you're nervous or stressed about something, it normalizes your pulse rate. Speaking of that, let's see, my pulse is 58. That's pretty good. Okay, I wear a Fitbit, so I get to see how my body is responding to everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. Okay. It relieves depression, anger, and anxiety. And that's very powerful, because you can't laugh and be depressed at the same time. It just doesn't work.
Right.
Our mind is pretty simple. We do one thing at a time, and we can do that well. So it releases that. I just read this morning, and I added this to this list, that laughter releases nitric oxide, which reduces blood pressure. So nitric oxide is an important constituent in the body that is released when we laugh, when we jog, when we walk, when we exercise. So laughter is like an exercise.
Wouldn't surprise me.
So what do you guys do are you aware of how much or how little you laugh? So what do you do? What do you consciously do to change, to laugh more on purpose? Like, what steps do you take?
I call my girlfriends.
So that's an important thing, to be around people who laugh.
I call Sandy. And I go visit her puppy.
Perfect.
And she makes me happy.
We laugh. I've laughed at very odd moments of my life that really, those times I can't conceive myself laughing. I went through a terrible year this year, but now cut to the chase. One of my daughters was extremely ill, and we went from 3 months to live to 2 weeks, and now we're just down to days.
Oh,
She's a nurse, and my other daughter is a nurse, and my daughter was her husband is a doctor. We're in Manhattan. Thank God my daughter had to receive a liver transplant.
Did you get it?
Nope. Within 24 hours, otherwise that was it. So you
You
can't
did?
imagine.
Got it now.
You just can't imagine anything.
Yeah.
Well, as it turned out, we thank God, and after it and so forth, a week later, my daughter said to me, "Come on, do you want to see her?" I said, "Yes, I want to see her." She said, "Be prepared, you might not recognize her." So when I went in and I saw her, she looked like a concentration camp victim. I had to compose myself so. But anyhow, we spent the whole day, and 9 o'clock we went back to her apartment. Her husband's there, and he said people were bringing in food. He said, "I'll heat something up." I said, I don't want anything. I'll have a bowl of cereal." But my daughter said, "Oh, I'll have something. Heat something up for me, Dan." He says, "So he's heating it." And we're sitting there, and I have my cereal, and she has this big thing, and my son-in-law says, "I brought you girls a bottle of white wine." "Oh," she said, "I'll have a glass." I said, "No, I don't want a glass." So my daughter goes, "Why don't you have a glass of wine?" I said, "I don't want a glass of wine." She said, "Well, why don't you have a little glass?" I said, "I don't want a little glass." She said, well, put a little in your cereal.
That's great. That's a
And
great.
the
That's a
three
great
of us
idea.
just, it was like the flood of a laughter and emotion
Very
came out of
healthy.
us.
Wow.
It just was, we just felt light.
Right.
I mean, it sounds crazy, but
Most of the
Yes.
times, I tell people to put on their candid camera glasses, because there are things that happen every day of our lives that we could have 10 different perspectives about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it depends on which perspective you choose.
Right.
And it sounds crazy that you can choose your perspective because it feels like it just happens by itself. But I can give you some examples of things that were embarrassing moments. If you think of some embarrassing moments that you've been through, where at the time it was embarrassing and crazy, and then when you tell the story about it, it's hysterical.
Mhm.
It's totally hysterical. I'll give you an example. I used to wear, in those days, a little hairpiece, like a wiglet on top of my head to make my hair look higher and bigger. So I used to wear a wiglet, and I was always a little nervous about securing it, because I was always afraid, because it wasn't like a wig that you put your whole head into it. It just attaches to whatever bobby pins or thick hair you have. So one time I was going into Manhattan. I was living in Long Island. I was going into Manhattan to teach a class. And I parked my car and walked to the class and taught the class. The class was over. I was walking to my car, and the weather had changed and it had gotten very windy. And I didn't even think about my hair, and the hairpiece blew off. And it blew off on the floor. And I'm saying to myself, oh my God, what am I going to do? Should I run after it? And it started getting blown away by the wind. And I say, like, oh my God, should I run after it? There were people, Manhattan, you never walk on the street without people around. And I said, should I pretend that it's not mine? And say, ooh, look at what that is. But of course my hair was a mess because it was flattened, and so I had to make a quick decision about, should I run after that piece of hair that looked like an animal, or should I just let it go and not take ownership of it? So I decided, because I had paid a lot of money for it, I didn't want to just let it fly away. So I ran after it, and then people started running behind me, because if I didn't catch it, they were going to try to catch it. But I mean, I was so embarrassed. But when I tell the story, it's hysterical and crazy.
It is.
So we all have stories where we did something embarrassing. So if we have time at the end, we can share some of those stories. I'll tell you another quick one. I was going into Manhattan to teach a class from Long Island, and I was in a hurry. I was getting distracted. I had 3 kids, and at that time I was having pains with my shoulders, so I couldn't put my bra on the normal way, and hook it this way. So I put it around my waist. Then somebody distracted me, and I got dressed. You're right. I didn't realize that the bra was still hanging on my waist. And I went into Manhattan, went into the class, and of course it was a class on laughter. Could it have been any more perfect? And we cracked up. We just could not stop laughing. I could have ended the class at that point, because the mission was accomplished.
Right, just show up like that.
And I told them, I said, I didn't do this on purpose, but this is a perfect time for this to happen. But all of us have embarrassing moments that we don't want to tell people about, but when you tell the story, it's hysterical. So think about that while we're here. Okay. So the certification that I went through to become a laughter yoga specialist was created by Dr. Madan Kataria. He was a medical doctor in, I believe it was Mumbai, India. Yeah. And he noticed that his patients, some of them were getting well with certain conditions and others were not. But they were being treated the same way. Why don't you move this way a little bit?
Nice, I'm fine.
Can you
I'll
see
sit.
me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine.
I like seeing your face.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. So he said, why are these people getting better faster than these people? They're all taking the same medicine, they're all doing their exercise, they're either at home or working. So he found out that the people that were recovering faster were people that were laughing more. So he decided to create a laughter club. He said, I don't know how we're going to do this. I've never done anything like this before, but we have to learn how to laugh more. So once a week, he would have all his patients come into this park outdoors, and they would play games. He would do silly things, and people would be laughing, but it wasn't spontaneous laughter, because that's what I'm going to show you, that there's two kinds of laughter. There's spontaneous laughter, that when you laugh at a puppy or a baby or what happened with you with the wine. And then there's purposeful laughter, and they call it fake laughter. He was calling it fake laughter. So what is fake laughter? Fake laughter is when you start laughing for no reason. And your body doesn't know the difference between fake laughter and real laughter. It just goes through the same steps that I shared with you, health-wise. That's what it teaches you. It shows you how you can laugh without waiting for something funny to happen. You could look in the mirror, instead of having a criticism about your skin or your hair or your weight, which is what we all do. You know, we're so tough on ourselves. You could say something funny, and then you could start laughing, like force yourself to laugh, because after a while, when you do that on a regular basis, the laughter becomes spontaneous. And if you look up on YouTube, laughter yoga, you'll see all kinds of different ways that people can laugh on their own without having anybody say a funny joke. So let's see now.
Isn't it
So-
also nervous laughter?
Excuse me?
Nervous laughter?
Yeah, but that's not the same, doesn't have the same effect as laughter that's
Because something's funny.
something funny, or it's fake laughter. Laughter. The reason they call it laughter yoga, the reason it's like yoga, laughter yoga, is because you're breathing in deep. You're breathing in deep, you're exhaling, you're laughing. But when you have a nervous laughter, it's not usually as profound and deep physically. So this started with Dr. Kataria in 1995. He had this group once a week. And he started noticing that they were healing faster, and he was amazed. So he started a different group the next day. He started the first one with 5 people. Now there were 6,000 worldwide laughter yoga clubs. 6,000 in the world. That's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It caught on. Doctors started using it as part of their therapy. People like me who are into health and fitness started creating laughter groups. I've had many laughter groups. Okay, here's more health benefits of laughter. As I said, it reduces stress by lowering your cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone. It diverts your attention from being negative to positive. It brings your relationships closer. It's always fun to laugh with other people. And that's the spontaneous laughter that comes from kids and what happened with you, with your wine. It also increases killer cells to help your immunity. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Something as simple as laughing reduces arterial inflammation, increases good cholesterol levels, and reduces your blood sugar if you have diabetes. Because it's like an exercise. Because exercise reduces your blood sugar, so does laughter. That's pretty amazing. Okay. So as I said, there were two different types of laughter. One is spontaneous, when you're laughing at a joke, being with kids, being with your dog, your puppy, see what they're doing. The laughter yoga program, your body does not know the difference. That's important for you to know that. Between the spontaneous and the fake laughter. One is spontaneous and one is voluntary. So you actually can start laughing in the kitchen while you're doing your dishes over nothing. So let's practice a little bit. I want to hear your voice. Good. And if you practice that long enough, just think about it. It's also, you won't need a facelift. It's increasing and stimulating the circulation in your face. You're taking deep breaths, so it's helping your respiratory system. Remember, spontaneous or voluntary, your body doesn't know the difference. The premise of laughter yoga is laughing for no reason. And it sounds crazy. It's like, how could I laugh? I'm not in the mood. But we just did it. Okay, so why do we need to laugh? We talked about fear and worry, that you can't laugh and be afraid at the same time or worry about anything. It just takes your mind off what you're focusing on. You feel open and free. You know how great you feel when you laugh? So when you first came into the class, let's rate how you feel on a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. Like, what was your stress level when you came in? Just give me a number of what your stress level was when you came in. I know mine was about an 8, because I have friends in Florida who are dealing with the hurricane and tornado, and one of them was living in the community that I lived in, and they had so much damage from the tornado.
I had no stress coming in. I swim laps at the Y.
So what would your number be? What number would you be on a stress
From 1
chart?
to 10, I guess a 1 or a 2.
No stress?
No stress.
Okay. Who else had some stress today when they came? Just experienced stress.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm a 10. My
Okay.
son lives in Florida. Everybody came in earlier, and I was trying to deal with paperwork and got so confused with everybody coming in.
Yes.
So I would say a 10 with, mostly because of my son.
Of
being
course,
in
of
Florida.
course. I mean, every day there'll be something for us to get stressed about. What's going on in Russia? What's going on in Ukraine? If you have to be living under a rock not to feel what's happening everywhere. What's happening with the banking system. And it's like, so who else? Give me a number, 1 to 10. I want to see how you felt when you came in, and we'll ask you again before you leave what your stress level is.
I had 2 annoying appointments this morning at Crystal Run for various reasons.
Okay, tell me what your stress level. We want numbers.
Well, 3.
Okay, thank you. Who else has a stress? Give me a stress level.
8.
Okay. What else? Who else? 8. Anybody else want to give me a stress level? Okay, so it's pretty high for most of us. Okay. So, laughter releases endorphins, which are happy hormones. So you could come in with an 8 and leave a laughter yoga class down to a 1 or nothing or 0. Releases anxiety and tension. So there are some people who have made a difference in the healing community. One of them is Dr. Patch Adams. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
Yeah.
The Gesundheit Institute is one of the places that he created, and he didn't charge patients for his services. He's still alive. I looked it up to see what he's doing now. He would go into all these hospitals and he would see patients, and he'd wear a clown outfit and wear this big red nose to make the kids in the hospital laugh. So he did the humor and clowning. So he played, Robin Williams played the lead in the movie in 1998, which was so sad because he played this role, and obviously whatever he was going through, he couldn't help himself.
Yeah, he didn't apply it to his life.
That's the part that was sad. Okay, the next person that I remember, I actually met him, is Norman Cousins. I don't know if you remember him. He was the editor of the Saturday Review.
Yeah.
And he was diagnosed with a condition called ankylosing spondylitis. It was a rare disease of the connective tissue. Now, if you're involved with the library and books and reading, you probably know about him, his story. He said that his chance of survival was 1 in 500. That's pretty dim. So he decided, since he was the editor of the Saturday Review, he did some research prior to that, prior to his illness, that showed the benefits of laughter. So he said, you know what? I wonder if it really works. Let's try it. So with the permission of his doctors in the hospital, he had all of his friends coming in at different times throughout the day with jokes, with videos, with audios, with pictures. Everything was funny, and everything was to make him laugh all day long. The bottom line is that he was kicked out of the hospital because they were making too much noise. Because all the patients were like sticking their heads in the room to find out what is going on in here. Because it's usually so morose in a hospital. So they kicked him out of the hospital, but again with his doctor's permission, he went to a motel nearby so the doctor could come and go. He also got a vitamin C drip, which is very helpful to fight infections and to raise his, whatever the sedimentation level was. So he combined the laughter and all the support and love that he got from his friends and family with the vitamin C drip, and he recovered. He recovered, and he wrote a book called Anatomy of an Illness, which is pretty amazing. And he lived for like 10, 15, 20 years after that and died of a heart attack that had nothing to do with this. But the book is amazing, and he actually proved that laughter does change your body. Okay, there's another doctor called Dr. Laurence Peter, who wrote the book The Laughter Prescription. And he also tells people, he's done studies about how laughter has helped people heal. And that's my purpose for bringing this class here. It's not just to have fun and giggle, which we'll do, but it's really to show you there's something greater going on when you're laughing. Another doctor, Dr. Annette Goodhart, who is a psychiatrist, she specializes in laughter therapy because most of her patients come in depressed or anxious, and she doesn't believe in giving drugs. That's what she used. She used laughter therapy. And the laughter therapy is very similar to what Dr. Kataria would do, like to laugh for no reason and to go watch movies that are funny. And I Love Lucy clips and The Odd Couple. I mean, those are my favorite ones. And Gilligan's Island. I mean, all the things that I used to watch when I was a kid that made me laugh out loud. Even this is a couple of things. You could find anything you want on YouTube. They have old reruns on anything. Then there's something called the Happiness Project, where people did some research to find out, why are some people happy and why are some not. Dr. William Fry is a professor of psychology at Stanford University in California. He said that laughing helps build your immune system. And you said that during the pandemic, what you did was to occupy yourself, and was the best thing you could have done was to laugh, is to watch those old movies, those old funny movies. Dr. Lee Burke, who's an immunologist, said the same thing. He's teaching people how the impact, it's actually impactful when you laugh. Dr. Kazuo Murakami said laughter is low-cost medical treatments that cuts healthcare costs. Wouldn't that be amazing if in the hospitals, instead of the attitudes that many nurses and doctors have, that they actually prescribe laughter as part of the regimen to get well? You can't leave the hospital unless you're laughing every day. Yeah, pretty wild. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so let's do a little bit of this. I want to explain to you a little bit about what laughter yoga is. There are 4 parts to laughter yoga. One of them is called hand clapping, and you're clapping your hands like this. That's practice. Come on. So the reason you do this, instead of just clapping any old way, is you're tapping reflexology points that stimulate different parts of your body. That's the first part. And then you chant, ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. 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 Okay, let's do. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. 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 Good. And then you make eye contact with each person. And as part of it, you're going to be doing some deep breathing. So it's inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Okay. So let's do a couple of these exercises. So this is how we do it. We're going to do it sitting down. Okay, let's see, which is... Okay, we have lots of different... Okay, we're going to pretend that we have dental floss in our hands. This is a real funny one. And we're going to floss our teeth. And as we're flossing our teeth, we're going to be laughing. This is so crazy! Amazing.
Past the door with them, we're crazy.
Yeah. So that's one of the exercises, is to be silly, do something that's odd. Part of this exercise is, they're all crazy activities. Okay, so let's do another one. So we're going to do, when we stop, we usually do them for like 2 minutes, and then we go, ho, ho, ha, 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 to stop it. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. So let's do it. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. All right, so let's do another one. Let's pretend that you are... Okay, let's see. Okay, now none of these are going to make sense. They're just fine. You're going to pretend that you're eating noodles, but you're using your fingers. So you're going to have a bowl of noodles in front of you, and you're going to put your fingers in there, and you're going to take the noodles and do whatever you do. You're going to put your hand back in the plate. You could put both hands in the plate and get the noodles hanging and let them go over your face and let them drip all over. And let's do it again. Oh my God. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Very good. Okay, there's another cute one. You just cut a lemon, and you're gonna picture the lemon in each, let's say in one hand, and you're gonna smell it, and then you're gonna suck on it. Okay, so cut the lemon, take the piece of lemon, the half a lemon in your hand, and then suck on it. And then, oh my God, this is so sour. Okay, now you're going to be chewing bubble gum. Don't you notice that you're feeling different already? And this is ridiculous. And the hardest group of people that I taught to, and I've been teaching this 20, 30 years, the hardest group of people that I teach this to are people our age, because they don't want to be ridiculous. We don't want to be silly. But when I teach it to the kids, they're on it in a second.
I like
You
these
should
silly-
incorporate the two age groups.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. So, what we're going to do now, we're going to be chewing a piece of bubble gum. And we're going to make a bubble. And it's going to splat right all over it. Make a big bubble, and then it's going to bust right in our faces. Look at you! And look at her! And look at this one! Yeah! Awesome! Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha! Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha! Notice how you're feeling. I know I'm sweating. I know that I'm breathing harder. Okay. So let's say,
Silly songs.
what?
Silly songs make
It
me
is.
laugh.
Yeah. So let's see. Okay, there's so many choices. Okay, you're going in for a waxing for under your arms and by your
Bikini wax.
bikini wax.
That's beautiful.
Okay, so you're feeling the hot wax. It's like, oh, 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 I want to hear your voices louder. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to be, let's see.
It hurts.
We're going to be milking a cow. I mean, I have hundreds of exercises written down here. Let's milk the cow. Okay. Woo, woo. And then it goes right in our eyes, like. Anybody here have a cow?
Not anymore.
Not a good idea to do that with rings on. Ouch.
Yeah, not good
Okay.
for the cow either.
Okay, let's do. Okay, we're gonna go on a motorcycle. We're gonna be driving. Okay. Look, I'm doing a wheelie. And then we usually go, and I forgot to tell you this. Very good, very good. Yay!
At the end.
Very good, very good. Yay! Awesome. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your stress level?
None, I don't have.
None.
Yeah.
None. Is that incredible? How we could be so silly and yet change everything. Change the way the blood is circulating. Change the way the cholesterol is being released. Changing the brain. We're changing the brain. If you could laugh and shift your stress level so easily and quickly over 2 minutes, 1 second. Right? How much, even after the first exercise, I felt different. So it's much easier than you realize, but it takes a conscious effort to make sure before you go to sleep that day to look at the rest of your day that happened and said, did I laugh today? I know you took your medicine if you have medicine. I know you ate, hopefully. But did I laugh today? And if you didn't laugh, do something about it. Get a book that's funny. I remember when I was younger, I used to go up to the Catskill Mountains. I lived in Long Island. And I used to go up to the Catskill Mountains because of the fact that I'm a dancer. I would dance all the time. But also because of the comedians. You could find a lot of the comedians on YouTube. They still have some of their skits. Yeah, so, I mean, some of them, you know, I'm an adult now, so a senior adult now, so I don't think what was funny when I was younger is so funny now. But again, it doesn't have to be funny to laugh. So anybody have any questions?
So I should be laughing before they take blood for my cholesterol.
Yes, yes.
All right. I laugh at my dog. I laugh
Excellent,
all the time.
excellent.
So
Good.
I feel pretty good.
Okay, let's do a couple more exercises. Pretend that you're a windshield wiper. Woo, woo, ha, ha, woo, woo, ha, 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 Very good, very good. Yay! Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. There was, when I taught this class in Florida, I was teaching for Florida Atlantic University. I was teaching to retired professors. Oh my God, what a tough class that was. Because they were so brilliant and so professional that they wouldn't participate in this silliness.
They didn't know how to let go.
Many of them sat like this. There was a couple in there that, participated. But we did it over a period of 4 sessions. So each session got easier and easier. I had them come in one of the sessions wearing a funny hat or to wear 2 different socks, and some of them did it, some of them didn't. But I was going from some of my past experiences. How many times have you put on 2 different socks without realizing if there wasn't enough light in your kitchen?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or put on 2 different shoes. I put on 2 different colored shoes. And those are the things that we could laugh at. And we do these kinds of silly things every day. We do them every day. So my point with this class was I wanted to point out to you that it was very difficult to change our patterns. If you're not used to being silly, it's going to be a little harder. But by the end of the 4 sessions, they were 2-hour classes. By the end of the 4th session, I mean, the people were so loose and limber, laughing, playful. I had them put masks on. You know, one of the classes I said, I want you to come in with a mask, not that mask, this kind of mask. And some of the people actually went on to Amazon and bought masks that talked. I mean, the people were incredible about what they did to create a mask or buy a mask. And they went into some of the Halloween stores.
Oh, like Party City.
Yeah, Party City, and they have whole sections with different masks. And so when I had my laughter yoga club, I actually created one from that class. The people that were the most rigid and stoic were the ones that were the most playful during the laughter club. I had them lead some of the sessions. So it's never too late. It's never too late to add daily laughter into your life. Let's see, okay. I want to see if I forgot anything. So we need to put on our candid camera glasses. I mean, that's one of my favorite shows. When I was growing up, Candid Camera. Can any of you remember any of the episodes?
Offhand, I can't.
I remember one episode where Alan Funt was in the Automat. Do you remember those restaurants? I don't know.
With the
One
little
in
door
Florida.
and you
One
could
in
lift it
Florida,
up.
Yeah,
Take your
yeah. So
sandwich.
you go around and see what's in the little case.
Choices.
You put your money in the machine.
Nickel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember how much it was, but you open it up and you take it out. So I remember one that was hysterical. The guy put money in the machine. The people were putting money in the machine. They did it one at a time, and they opened it up, and they didn't see the piece of pie or something. So they put their hand in to get it, and the pie kept moving away from them. And so they kept reaching and reaching until a hand grabbed their hand. And usually the reactions that people had were mind-blowing. So I love watching insane things like that. And you could find it on YouTube. The Just for Laughs are gags that will show you some of the hysterical things that people have done to make people laugh. One of the things that I remember in that one of their skits was, I mean, this was brilliant. They drilled a hole in the ground. Actually, where was it? And it was probably in like one of those basement places where you could open up a lid. You could open up this it's like a lid. And people went, somebody went inside and they drilled a little hole in the lid so that the woman's head could come through it. So just picture that. So the gag was a woman was walking carrying a mannequin and the head popped off. And there were people behind her. And the people behind her wanted to, bend down and get the head to give it to her. But there was two men carrying a piece of glass, a big piece of glass or mirror. So it kind of stopped them from walking over to the head that was on the ground, the mannequin head. But it gave the woman underneath in that little basement enough time to stick her head up in the hole. So when the guys with the glass walked away, there was a head that looked exactly like the mannequin, like this. So a couple of people who saw the mannequin
Oh my
fall
God.
off went to pick it up, and the woman screamed. When they looked at it, I probably have seen that 100 times, and to see people's reaction is like, what the, they never expected it to be a real person, because the timing was so perfect with the two men holding the glass walking by them. So I mean, there's crazy, silly things on Just for Laughs, but they have so many episodes, and if I haven't laughed one day, I'll turn that on, and that's on YouTube.
They had something like that on a TV show not too long ago, before COVID. That it was not Alan Funt, but two brothers who did like slapstick stunts like that, and it's almost similar.
You didn't know who?
I don't remember, no, because it was on for just maybe one season, and it was on like a channel 11 or 5. It wasn't on the 2, 4,
that's
or
too
7.
bad.
And it's too bad because that
But
was
we needed that.
yes, yes.
So we'll end the class having an argument with somebody, but quietly. So you're gonna go like. Okay, so let's do that. Let's pretend we're having an argument with somebody and laugh in between. Very good. Very good. Yay! So what's your stress level now on a scale of 1 to 10?
Mine was 2 when I came here, so I'm a 0. I'm a 0. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. How about you?
I'm still a 5. I started out pretty high.
You're holding on to that 5, huh?
It ain't easy.
Okay. And you know, you could say it's a 0, and your mind will hear that.
I wish it was. I could wish it away. It's still not there. Takes time.
Whatever. So, what we say is often what our body reacts to. And Norman Vincent Peale, in The Power of Positive Thinking, says that we can't change our circumstances, but we can change how we interpret it. We can change how we react to it. We have that power. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
And I hope you learned some lessons about changing how you feel and to watch more and laugh more.
Thank you,
Thank
Shelley.
you.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you.